Hello friends, once again a warm welcome to the online session of research methodology. As you all know that in this online session we are learning sampling techniques and its use in the research result. In the first half of this online session we have already completed the meaning of population, meaning of sample, and then we have learnt the types of sampling, and in that we have learnt various techniques or methods of probability sampling, or we can say probabilistic sampling. Now in the second half of this particular session we are going to learn the different sampling methods covered under non-probability sampling. First half we had covered the methods of probability sampling. Now in the second half we are covering non-probability sampling. Now let us learn what do we mean by non-probability sampling. As it was explained in the first half that under non-probability sampling every element do not have equal chance of being selected under the sample. When every element does not have equal chance of being selected, it is considered as non-probability sampling or non-probabilistic sampling. Now out of these non-probability sampling, the first one is convenience sampling. Friends, the name itself is very much suggestive. Convenience sampling. This is also known as accidental or haphazard sampling. Now, when you want to select a sample, you select on the basis of your convenience. You select on the basis of your comfortability. When the sample is selected on the basis of convenience or comfortability, it is known as convenience sampling. Now the sample is selected according to the convenience of the sample. No pre-planning is necessary for the selection of items. The convenience may be in respect of availability of the source list or accessibility of the units, etc. On various bases, on whatever base it is comfortable for the researcher will find out the sample according to that. So that is considered as convenience sampling. Let us understand through the example. Convenience sampling example. Here this is the researcher and he has identified the sample of all those people who are nearby him. So this is very much convenient for this researcher. So researcher has identified the samples which are near to him, but this is convenience sampling. It does not include this person. So convenient sampling may create certain bias. So this is considered as convenience sampling, under which the researcher selects the sample as per his convenience or comfortability. Under non-probability sampling, another is purposive sampling. Another name is purposive sampling, another technique. This sampling method is also known as judgmental sampling. Purposive sampling is also known as what? It is also known as judgmental sampling. Appropriate characteristic required of the sample members. Sampling is possible only when there is a specific objective. Now judgmental sampling is done when there is specific objective. This method did not be used when there are multi-purpose objectives involved in the study. When we have multi-purpose objective, in that case this method is not going to be used. When there is only one specific objective, the purposive sampling method will be used. The investigator has to pick up only such sample which is relevant to his study. Out of the whole population, he will pick up only those which are very much relevant for his study, or out of the total audience, he will select only those members which are relevant for his study. Others will be left out. The investigator should possess full knowledge of the universe. Now, who is relevant and who is not relevant? This can be decided only if the investigator has a full knowledge of the universe. If he is not knowing the whole population, he will not be able to decide that which member is relevant for my study or which member is not relevant for my study. So purposive sampling or judgmental sampling can be used when the researcher or investigator has full knowledge of the universe, and out of this full universe he will select only those members which are relevant for his study. Let us understand it by the example. Say this is the judgmental or purposive sampling. An experienced individual selects the sample based on his or her judgment about some characteristics required of the sample member. According to his knowledge, he will identify those people who are having that kind of characteristics, or the people who are not having these characteristics will be left out. So this is considered as judgmental or purposive sampling. Next one is quota sampling. Let us understand what do we mean by quota sampling. In quota sampling, the selection of the sample is made by the interviewer who has been given quota to fill from specified subgroups of the population. For example, an interviewer may be told to sample 50 females between the age of 45 to 60. Now, this quota is defined. You have to select 50 females, but these 50 females must be in the age group of 45 to 60. So, this is considered as quota sampling. Let us understand by the example. Quota sampling. Here, the total population is given. Out of this total population, 50% male, 50% female, 70% white, and 30% black. Now, out of this, the quota sample is made as 50% male and 50% female. So, this must be representative of gender distribution in population, not representative of race distribution. So, this is considered as quota sampling, in which the quota is predefined and the investigator has to select the sample according to predefined quota. Next comes snowball sampling. Friends, you know what do we mean by snowball? When the snowball is falls from the top of the mountain, it covers the snow particles within itself, and at the end the ball becomes very large. So one by one particles are collected, and as a result the size of the ball increases. This is snowball. The same is happened here. Let us understand through the definition. Selecting participants by finding one or two participants and then asking them to refer to other participants also. So one participant is selected, we will tell him to refer to the other will be told to refer to some other. In that way, the participants in the study will increase. For example, meeting a homeless person, interviewing that person, and then asking him or her to introduce you to other homeless people you might interview. So one person is selected, he will refer to another, another will refer to yet another will refer to yet another, and in that manner the cycle will go on, and these members will be selected under the sample. So this is known as snowball sampling. Let us take the example of snowball. See here, the researcher recruits the initial subjects. First, these three were selected, these three. Now this first person has referred to these two, this has referred to this two, this one has referred to this, and in that manner the whole cycle goes on until your sample requirement is fulfilled. So this is known as snowball sampling. Now these all were the methods of non-probabilistic sampling. Friends, Once again, I want to remind you the types of survey errors that we had discussed in the beginning of our session 1. Now once again, why do I want to remind them? As I said, the sampling must be error free. In order to make it error free, you need to consider what kind of errors can take place if sampling is not done proper. As we know that four kind of errors may take place. The first one is coverage error, under which the sample is not selected properly and some members are excluded from the sample who must have been selected, but they are excluded. So your sample is having coverage error, which are not covered, which must have been covered, but they are excluded. So this is coverage error. Another kind of error is non-response error. When you call or you try to get response from your respondent, but he does not give response appropriately, and as a result the error occurs, which is known as non-response error. And then comes sampling error, in which the chance of error differ from different sample to sample. Another kind of error is measurement error, in which questions are not properly framed and as a result you do not derive proper conclusion. So if mistake in sampling is there, it creates this kind of errors, and as a result your research work will not be appropriately done, or it will not derive the expected conclusions. So the techniques of sampling that we have learned here, these techniques or methods must be appropriately used so that ideal sampling is selected and your research work may be free from these errors. So in order to make the research work best, in order to make the research work error free, the sampling techniques holds a great importance. We need to understand these sampling techniques very well, and on the basis of the requirement of research work, ideal sampling method should be utilized and a proper sample should be collected so that we can make our research work error free. That's all from now. Thank you very much. Bye bye.